Practical Vedanta Lectures of Swami Vivekananda from the second volume of Complete Works of Swami Vivekananda. Third lecture delivered in London on 17 November 1896. Like the previous second lecture on Practical Vedanta, this third lecture too Swamiji starts with stories from Chhandogya Upanishad. First, through the story of Narad and Sanat Kumar, Swamiji explains that Prana is higher than Akash and everything is the work of Prana. It is Prana which manufactures various forms out of Akash. Then Swamiji, through another story from the same Upanishad, that of Shwetaketu and his father, explains that out of the subtle essence, which is the cause, everything gross, which is the effect, appears, and yet gross does not know the subtle. Then Swamiji explains the two principles of knowledge. One, particular explained by general and general by universal. And the second is explanation of things from their own nature. To illustrate the first principle, Swamiji says, taking up the first principle, we see that all our knowledge really consists of classifications, going higher and higher. When something happens singly, we are, as it were, dissatisfied. When it can be shown that the same thing happens again and again, we are satisfied and call it law. When we find that one apple falls, we are dissatisfied. But when we find that all apples fall, we call it the law of gravitation and are satisfied. The fact is that from the particular we deduce the general. Then Swamiji points out that how this generalization principle led to the monotheistic idea of personal God, which was but the universalization of all consciousness into collective personal God. But this idea faces two problems. One, only consciousness part is taken up and the other part is left out. And two, it fails on the second principle mentioned above. Swamiji explains. So the explanation of a personal God as the creator of the universe has to stand that test. If that God is outside of nature, having nothing to do with nature, and this nature is the outcome of the command of that God and produced from nothing, it is a very unscientific theory, and this has been the weak point of every theistic religion throughout the ages. Then Swamiji raises the question whether religion can stand the test of these scientific principles. Modern man is interested in this and not on mere beliefs. And in India, during ancient times, the Buddhists gave blow to the personal God idea on the basis of the later of the above two principles. The discussion on substance and qualities is very old. Swamiji says, Buddhist says, you have no ground for maintaining the existence of such substance. The qualities are all that exists. You do not see beyond them. This is just the position of most of our agnostics. Does the duality of noumena and phenomena, of substance and qualities exist? Buddhists deny this and say only phenomena exists, while monistic Vedanta says only noumena exist and phenomena is illusory appearance, like that of a rope appearing as snake in darkness. Swamiji explains this in terms of idealist and realist. He says, now we understand better the position of both the realist and the idealist. The realist sees the phenomena only, and the idealist looks to the noumena. For the idealist, the really genuine idealist, who has truly arrived at the power of perception, whereby he can get away from all ideas of change, for him the changeful universe has vanished, and he has the right to say it as all delusion. There is no change. The realist at the same time looks at the changeful. For him the unchangeable has vanished, and he has right to say this is all real. Outcome of this philosophy is that the idea of personal God is not sufficient, and we have to come to the infinite impersonal principle. Impersonal idea does not destroy personal, but explains it. And the second outcome of this analysis is even bolder. We are that infinite impersonal being. Swamiji says, you are that impersonal being, that God for whom you have been searching all over the universe is all the time yourself. Yourself not in the personal sense, but in the impersonal. The man we know now, the manifested, is personalized, but the reality of this is the impersonal. To understand the personal, we have to refer it to the impersonal. The particular must be referred to the general, and that impersonal is the truth, the self of man. Universal and rational basis of ethics come from monistic idea. Old authority of ethics, namely some religious book, is no longer accepted to rational modern man. Better to become atheist following reason than to follow blindly some god on authority of someone. Swamiji says, for it is better that mankind should become atheist by following reason than blindly believe in 200 million gods on the authority of anybody. What we want is progress, development, realization. No theories ever made men higher. No amount of books can help us to become purer. The only power is in realization, and that lies in ourselves and comes from thinking. Let men think. A clod of earth never thinks, but it remains only a lump of earth. The glory of man is that he is a thinking being. It is the nature of man to think, and therein he differs from animals. Power of authority is great, and so also is its danger. Swamiji gives the example of Muslims conquering countries with sword, based on Quran's authority, which asks them to kill infidels. He also points out the rigid and complete authority of Veda on Hindu life and its result, the stunted growth of Hindu society. Monistic idea understands and accepts the need of little human intellects to cling to comfortable, consoling personal God. Swamiji says the monistic theory has this merit that it is the most rational of all religious theories that we can conceive of. Every other theory, every conception of God, which is partial and little and personal, is not rational. And yet, monism has this grandeur that it embraces all these partial conceptions of God as being necessary for many. Some people say that this personal explanation is irrational, but it is consoling. They want a consoling religion, and we understand that it is necessary for them. The clear light of truth very few in this life can bear, much less live up to. It is necessary, therefore, that this comfortable religion should exist. It helps many souls to a better one. Though personal God cannot be demonstrated, it is the highest reading of the impersonal from human perspective. Swamiji explains, the very idea of causation exists only in the phenomenal world, and God as the cause of this universe must naturally be thought of as limited, and yet He is the same impersonal God. This very universe, as we have seen, is the same impersonal being read by our intellect. Whatever is reality in the universe is that impersonal being, and the forms and conceptions are given to it by our intellects. Whatever is real in this table is that being, and the table form and all other forms are given by our intellects. When we get rid of the mind, our little personality, we shall become one with the reality, our true infinite pure consciousness nature. Swamiji says, we are in reality that infinite being, and our personalities represent so many channels through which this infinite reality is manifesting itself. And the whole mass of changes which we call evolution is brought about by the soul trying to manifest more and more of its infinite energy. We cannot stop anywhere on this side of the infinite. Our power, our blessedness, and wisdom cannot but grow into the infinite. Infinite power and existence and blessedness are ours, and we have not to acquire them. They are our own, and we have only to manifest them. This is the central idea of monism, and one that is so hard to understand. Infinite power in the soul of man, whether he knows it or not. Its manifestation is only a question of being conscious of it. Slowly, this infinite giant is, as it were, waking up, becoming conscious of his power, and arousing himself. And the day is sure to come when, with the full consciousness of his infinite power and wisdom, the giant will rise to his feet and stand erect. Let us all help to hasten that glorious consummation. Thanks for watching. Om Arunachal Shiva. Om Tat Sat.